In this AMA video, I'm going to give you some examples of how you can turn your knowledge into recurring income. Now, for me, I have been creating all sorts of products and programs and courses and all those things for a lot of years. So it comes quite easily to me, and I have a creative mind. So whenever I meet somebody, my brain is already ticking with loads of ideas and thoughts about what they could do and how they could do it. But I appreciate that this is my zone of genius and not necessarily yours. So quite a few people look at what I do with Build It Brilliant and think, oh, I don't know how that would be relevant for me. So I wanted to kind of take two different helping professions businesses and share with you my thoughts in terms of how I could creatively come up with ways that they could create recurring income for that particular business. Hopefully, this will show you how you could do it for your business. So let's think about a yoga teacher to start off with. So a yoga teacher could perhaps, the obvious one is to create videos of your classes. So to do your classes online, but again, that's still sort of one to many. You have to kind of sell the class and get people there. So if you wanted to automate that, you could do it where you record the videos in advance and then schedule them so that people come along, but you've already created them. So then you could be off in the Bahamas having a holiday and your students could be still having your yoga classes. You could do it like that. The other thing about it as well, I would be thinking about kind of what expertise have you got with yoga? So you could teach the philosophy of yoga, for example. You could create a little book all about the philosophy of yoga, why it's good for you, what the benefits are for doing yoga. You could do a little course about beginners yoga, so people that have never done it before. So you could do a little sort of mini series to get people interested in yoga who've never done it before. You could do a little package. You could team up with somebody else and do something around yoga for pain or yoga for pregnancy or yoga for, I don't know, sleeping. And it might be nice if you got a couple of people together and did almost a course that you share the revenue for that. You could also do affiliate schemes, so you can sell mats and blocks and clothing and all sorts of yoga related things and get an affiliate fee for all of those purchases. And that's just off the top of my head. So there's some ideas. So what about somebody who does something that's more of a talking therapy? How do we turn a talking therapy into courses and products and recurring income? So let's think about counselling service. So you're a counsellor, what could you do? Say you liked working with people through the grief process, you could create a video that introduces them to the concept of grief and the steps of grief. You could create a little recurring series that's almost like a little motivational thing every day for 90 days to get them through that first 90 days and record them all or create them all and then have them as a recurring thing that people can sign up to. They could then gift it to a friend or relative if they've been grieving and they'd like to help them in the process. So many people don't know what to say. If you're a counsellor, you've had training for 3 years, even more, about human brain and how we work. You could definitely do a knowledge course about a certain thing, whether that be the relationship between for trauma or for anxiety or all sorts of things. You could take that as a topic and then explain to people why they do what they do and some of the big things to look out for and some little strategies and tips that you would help them with, kind of why a talking therapy is good for you, like what the process is around that. You could also create PDFs around what is counselling, what's the process, to welcome people into the service, because it's quite a big thing to decide that you're going to go into counselling. So you could do a little product around that. So yes, there's mini series as you can do. There's courses on certain topics that you could do. You could do group work in counselling. So you could do it where you're going to take a group of people who are experiencing a similar thing, and you're going to do a group therapy session, which is almost an add-on to their one-to-one sessions, and also helps in terms of time, because then you don't need to see everybody one-to-one, but you could create almost like a membership, not that you would call it a membership, but almost like a, you know, support group. We meet twice a month and support each other through whatever experiences you're dealing with, those sorts of things. And again, all of this is just literally off the top of my head. So there's a huge amount more. I tend to find that when I start working with somebody, and when you come into the membership arena and we start chatting about it, all sorts of ideas and thoughts grow. And that's why I don't want to kind of sell you a process that I've already designed. This is what you do. I want to hear your ideas and your thoughts, and then help you to make that into something strategic, fabulous, you know, something that you really love. So the other thing that people ask me is about, what if I work with 10 yoga teachers or 10 counselors? So what, they're all going to create the same thing. So what's the point? And I think this is one of the biggest myths in the industry. So I'd like to kind of debunk that one as well. Number one, you are an individual. So I could give a topic to 10 yoga teachers and they would all go away, and their session would be different, because their choice of style of yoga is different, or the way that they talk about it is different. You know, so everybody has their own personality. So 10 people, even if they all decided to create a course, we'd end up with 10 different courses, because they're created by 10 different people with 10 different backgrounds and 10 different ways of being. The other thing as well is your client wants the service from you. So when a client comes to you and says, hello, I've got this issue and I want some help, they want you to help them. So even if the course, there's 20 courses, they're not looking at those 20 courses. They're coming to you and saying, what are you offering? Because they like you, your personality, your style, whatever it is. And the other thing is, we kind of don't realize how many people in the world need our services. So if I was consulting for 2 different counsellors and they literally work across the street from each other, within an environment, within the world, within UK, there's millions of people who are suffering and struggling. So for those 2 people to be successful, there is plenty of people in order for both of them to be successful. So both of those people could do the exact same thing, and there's enough people to get their business to be success. One might do it more online, one might do it more in person, one might do it more as a supportive talking therapy kind of situation, one might be more direct, more upfront. You don't know, like there's so many different variations that it really doesn't matter if you have everybody helping, because there's enough people who are suffering in order to make you all successful. So I hope that's got your brain going in terms of ideas that you could implement for your business, and also kind of got rid of your fear in terms of everybody else is doing it, why should I bother? That's it for this week's AMA, and I hope to catch you next week in the next AMA.